school board leaders. We appreciate your time in learning more about your role in the School Land Trust program and how you can assist in the important work of school community councils as they address the unique academic needs of your students. In this training, we'll explore the history of trust lands, dive into the School Land Trust program, and equip you as a school board member to effectively manage these resources for the betterment of your students. To understand the program, we need to understand trust lands, which requires some Utah state history. Imagine Utah back in 1896, newly a state. The federal government granted Utah something special known as trust lands. These lands had a unique purpose in generating money for essential institutions, especially public schools. Revenue from these lands, through activities like development, mining, and grazing, support 11 beneficiaries, with Utah's public schools at the top of the list. That's where the School Land Trust program comes in. At the state level, the Land Trust program works through the collaboration of 4 agencies. First, we have the Trust Lands Administration, who serves as land managers that generate money from the land through things like mining leases and grazing permits. That money flows to the investment experts at the School and Institutional Trust Fund Office, also known as SITFO. They make sure the funds grow over time like a perpetual investment account that serves present day and future students in Utah public schools. Next, the School Children's Trust Team at the Utah State Board of Education steps in, and we are in charge of distributing the funds to schools through the School Land Trust program. Finally, we have the Advocacy Office, who work together to protect the rights of the trust beneficiaries. At the local level, schools and school boards have a big responsibility. They work with school community councils to decide how best to spend the funds to meet their students' needs. It's all about transparency and making sure that this program benefits Utah students for years to come. This program is making a real difference. Just this school year, $106.2 million were distributed to Utah public schools, with $93.6 million going directly to district schools. This funding empowers schools to encourage academic success by supporting the unique needs of their students. But here's the key. This money doesn't work in isolation. It takes the dedication and local knowledge of school community councils to truly bring these funds to life in the classroom. School community councils are vital groups that will bring together parents, teachers, and school leaders. They're tasked by Utah law not only with the creation of the School Land Trust Plan, but also advising school boards on important issues. By analyzing data, considering the school's teacher and student success plan, and aligning with district priorities, these councils ensure that the School Land Trust funds are used strategically to benefit every student. As a school board member, you play a critical role in supporting school community councils and the success of the School Land Trust program. This includes setting clear policies and timelines, providing effective training, overseeing how school land trust funds are being used, and reviewing program outcomes. We'll dive deeper into each of these responsibilities throughout the rest of this video, equipping you with the knowledge and tools you need to effectively manage this valuable resource. The first responsibility of the local school board is to provide essential leadership for the School Land Trust program. Through the establishment of policies and timelines, this includes that board members set policies and timelines for school community council elections, establish a conflict of interest policy, define program deadlines, create district monitoring procedures for the program, and to communicate academic priorities. The next responsibility is to provide annual training for your local stakeholders. Effective implementation of the program relies on well-trained school boards, school community council members, and district staff. The board chair leads the board's own training, a prerequisite for approving school plans. Additionally, school community council members need to receive training each fall, ensuring they're equipped for their role throughout the school year. This is a board responsibility, and you can request training and resources from the State Board of Education's School Children's Trust Team to aid you in that effort. To ensure schools receive School Land Trust funding, you as a school board member must establish internal procedures that guarantee both school and district responsibilities are met for the program. This means you need a system in place to oversee the school level requirements. Think about how you as a board will determine if a school community council are being formed correctly, important documents are being updated and are consistent with the law, requirements are being submitted on time, and reports are being thoroughly reviewed. Establishing these procedures and timelines also means being confident that the district will be able to provide assurance that this oversight took place in order for schools to receive annual funding. Accountability and transparency are essential for the School Land Trust program. Your next major responsibility is overseeing the School Land Trust program and the school's use of the trust funds. By ensuring robust procedures are in place to actively monitor program spending, you ensure that these funds are truly benefiting students. This means verifying expenses, providing clear communication about budgets, and supporting plan amendments to meet evolving needs. Your next responsibility is receiving and assessing reports from your schools on program implementation. Final reports provide a valuable overview of how schools use school land trust funds during the previous year. These reports become available on January 15th and must be submitted and reviewed by your appointed district administrator by March 1st. As a school board, you have key responsibilities related to these reports. You need to work with your school district to establish a clear due date for principals to submit their final reports to their district administrator. This due date needs to take into consideration the March 1st deadline at the State Board of Education. You also need to make sure the district has a process in place to carefully review these plans and how the money was spent. Remember, the final report itself doesn't show individual expenditures, so the district really needs to have a way to examine those separately. Finally, school board members need to stay informed by obtaining a copy or summary of the final reports by March 1st so that you can assess each school's participation in the program. The last major responsibility that you have is to review SLT plans and council signature forms. Upcoming plans are how school community councils outline their intended use of school land trust funds for the next school year. These plans become available after the final report is complete and must be submitted and reviewed by you, the school board, and your appointed district administrator by May 15th. This ensures that schools can receive funding in July. So here's what you need to do. First, set a deadline. Work with your district to establish a clear due date for principals to submit their upcoming plans. Second, know the requirements. You should get familiar with the essential elements of a school land trust plan, and luckily, we'll go over that later on this presentation today. Third, review carefully. Scrutinize each plan, assuring that it aligns with district priorities and complies with the law. Fourth, verify signatures. Confirm that a council signature form is included with the submission of each school's upcoming plan and that the signatures match the school's council membership form. And lastly, communicate decisions. Promptly inform the district administrator of your decisions, including any rejections with specific comments for revision or approval. Since the cornerstone of the School Land Trust program is the plan review process, we'll dive deeper into how councils develop their plans and break down each component to ensure each plan meets all the requirements for your board and state board approval. Keep in mind that the State Board of Education's primary concern is legal compliance. While evidence-based practices in alignment with district needs are important and will be verified by you, the Utah State Board of Education's review focuses on ensuring that the plan adheres to all legal requirements. This slide provides a summary of the School Land Trust Plan creation and review process. While plans are submitted through an official reporting website, your school board's review might happen separately since you have an appointed district representative who approves the electronic form on your behalf. Here's an important reminder. If your board reviews plans in a different format from one on our website, please make sure that your process covers every required component. This prevents crucial information from being missed and ensures a smooth approval process. First, let's look at the steps in which an SEC develops a school land trust plan. This happens in 4 major phases, guided by either the TSSP or your district board's academic priorities. This framework helps them to review data, identify needs, set goals, and determine resource allocation. While the School Land Trust Plan offers flexibility in addressing academic needs, it's important to maintain clarity and focus. While schools can target various subjects including math, ELA, and science, as well as graduation rates and college career readiness for secondary schools, our team recommends selecting 1 or 2 priorities per school. In the board's review of the academic areas, please ensure this section is focused and only lists the academic areas that impact the goal. For example, if a school aims to teach math concepts through art, the plan should only identify math as the academic area. This ensures accurate tracking and reporting of progress. When reviewing goals, there are a couple things to know. First, there's no limit on the number of goals in a school land trust plan, but quality does trump quantity. Each goal should be focused by targeting a single academic area, and it should be student-centered, clearly stating what students will achieve within a year. A common reason for why goals are sent back by the State Board of Education is that the proposed goal is better suited as an action step. It may state what educators will do for students, but it doesn't state how students will achieve academically. An example of a goal that meets all these criteria is shown on the bottom of this slide. It has a specific benchmark of 65% of K2 students. It clearly identifies the academic area of focus as reading, and it also states that RISE tests will be used as the measurement tool to assess progress towards the goal. Please take a moment to pause the video and take a look at the goal to further your own understanding. Every goal in a school land trust plan needs a clear way to track progress. That's where measurement tools come in. It is recommended that measurement tools are focused, where only 1 to 2 tools are being used for each goal. So here's what to look for when you're reviewing these tools. First, match the goal. Each academic area in a goal must have a corresponding measurement tool. Second, look for multiple purposes. The chosen tool should be used to review initial data, establish a starting point, set a target for the goal, and assess progress at the end of the year. Schools can use a variety of tools, both summative and formative, as long as they directly connect to academic areas that are highlighted in their plans. Remember, this data is crucial for monitoring the plan's effectiveness and determining its ultimate success. Action plan steps and associated expenditures are where the rubber meets the road in the school land trust plan process. They outline exactly how a school will achieve its goals and what resources are necessary to do so. As you review these plans, pay close attention to the details. First, do the steps clearly explain how the school will move students from their baseline to their target? Are the strategies aligned to the goal, the academic area, and the chosen measurement tools? And are those strategies evidence-based, proven to be effective? Next, look for transparency in the funding. Is it clear which steps will use trust land funds and which won't? And when it comes to those expenditures, are they described in detail? Remember, vague descriptions are a recipe for compliance issues, so specificity is key. Finally, take a moment to double-check that all planned expenditures are actually permitted under the School Land Trust Program guidelines. We want to make sure every dollar is used wisely and effectively to support student success. This slide highlights the most common and effective ways that schools use school land trust funds. As you review these plans, use this list as a helpful reference. But remember, you have the power to shape how these funds are used in your district. You can approve innovative uses, not specifically listed here, or even choose to restrict certain uses if they don't align with your district's priorities. This slide lists unallowable school land trust expenditures. These expenses do not directly contribute to student success in the identified academic areas and are prohibited by Utah Board of Education administrative rule. Plans with these types of expenditures must be revised. Please note that the storage of personal student property is a newly added unallowable expense. A couple other things to keep in mind when reviewing school land trust plans. First, schools cannot exceed the $2 per student incentive cap. Second, if a school plans to use a mini-grant, they must clearly state this in their plan and submit an amendment before using these funds. This amendment needs to outline the specific purchases and have approval from both the council and the school board. This slide provides a helpful snapshot of what a well-aligned school land trust goal looks like within a plan. As you review plans, pay close attention to how the goals connect with the chosen strategies and measurement tools. One more important detail to check is the council vote. Make sure the total number of votes matches the number of members on the school community council and confirm that a quorum was present for the vote. This ensures that decisions are made with proper representation and input from the council. Sometimes schools need to make changes to their school land trust plan during the year. That's where an amendment comes in. As a school board member, it's your role to provide a clear guidance on how this process works in your district and when it's necessary. Some districts streamline this process by putting amendments on their consent agenda, as long as there's a clear explanation of the changes. Common reasons an amendment would be necessary are included on this slide for later reference. And remember, your board has the authority to determine other situations that might require an amendment. Just a quick reminder, when a school submits an amendment to their school land trust plan, it goes through the same review process as a brand new plan. Amendment forms are copies of the original school land trust plan with proposed changes. Review these amendments alongside with the current plan to understand those changes. The amendment form becomes an official plan once it's approved by you. As a school board member, you play a crucial part in the school land trust program. Your understanding of the requirements and your knowledge of your district are essential for ensuring that plans are a polished product before they're submitted to us at the School Children's Trust Team. This program is all about local control and decision making. You, working together with your school communities, have a unique opportunity to make a real difference in student success. By carefully crafting, approving, and implementing plans that target the greatest needs, you can unlock opportunities that wouldn't be possible without these trust funds. This is your program. We at the School Children's Trust Team are here to support you every step of the way. We provide training, guidance, and compliance oversight, so please do not hesitate to reach out to us with any questions or feedback. We're grateful for your service to the children of our state, and we thank you for attending this training.